The giant glared at it. No desecration allowed.
Die?
He roared, hysterical. His forehead's vertical eye snapped open. A beam of red light, so dense it verged on the absolute limit, shot straight toward Chongming. Lord Rooster. Kael's anxiety spiked. Watch out. He knew Chongming was formidable, but worry still lanced through him. In midair, Chongming neither dodged nor evaded. Its voice, calm and drawn out, took on a faint sacred authority. Great, majestic, divine sword. From its double pupils erupted 2 beams of 5, colored divine flame, colliding with the red light. The red light froze for a split second, then was utterly suppressed. In the blink of an eye, the 5 colored flames engulfed the giant, spreading across his body. For the first time, the giant shrieked in agony. His huge hands waved frantically, trying to snuff out the flames, but the effort only made them burn brighter. Black smoke billowed from his body. His 100 Jang stature shrank rapidly. No. Impossible! Pain and disbelief filled his eyes as he felt his power draining away. My divine power. HMPH? Chongming glanced at him. A mere divine servant dares to act wildly in front of me, courting death. My God! The giant's body had already shrunk by nearly half. Desperate, he pleaded. Save me? Save your servant. A low hum resonated through the space. What's happening? Kael's pupils contracted. He felt the ground tremble faintly. Dense plumes of crimson mist rose, seeping into his body. Damn it! That will was invading his mind again. Without hesitation, he circulated his cultivation, barely sustaining a protective spirit light around himself. But the crimson mist here was far denser than in the secret realm. Even at the dual pole realm he was barely holding on. He might collapse at any moment. High above, Chongming didn't seem to notice his plight. Its double pupils were fixed on a distant point in the void. Suddenly, a speck of light appeared in the dark space. Then 100, 1,000, 10,000. In moments, countless specks of light materialized, dispelling the endless darkness and illuminating everything. Kael now saw clearly. This space was 10,000 Zhang wide. Those specks of light were profound runes, radiating sacred auras, filling every corner. He glanced down. The ground was a layer of uneven, blood-red crystalline substance, thick beyond measure. The crimson mist was emanating from it. Then, a terrifying pressure descended from above. Kael looked up and froze in shock. In the sky above, a gigantic arm had manifested over 1,000 zhang long, knotted with muscle, astonishingly thick, its skin a bronzed hue. Only the arm, nothing more. His heart clenched with horror. He suddenly recalled Nero's Junx's words. What was suppressed within this god, slaying formation, was just one arm of that god. How powerful must the god itself be? Who could possibly dismember such a god? My God! Seeing the arm, the giant cried out in grief. Save me. As his words fell, the fingers of the giant arm twitched. HMPH, Chongming sneered, trying to break free in your dreams. In the next instant, the arm's 5 fingers clenched into a fist. Crack! Crack! The blood crystal beneath Kael's feet split with countless fissures. At that very moment, the runes in the space shivered. 5 divine chains of order, half existing and half illusory, between reality and unreality, appeared and latched the arm down firmly. Yet one chain was slightly dimmer than the others. The arm sensed the disturbance and suddenly struggled violently. A bunch of fools. Seeing that dimmer chain, Chongming's gaze turned icy. Seeking your own death, utterly idiotic beyond measure. High above, the arm's struggles grew fiercer. Red light wreathed its bronze skin, and an endless tide of blood, red divine power cascaded down, forming a thick crimson beam that shot into the half, dead giant in an instant. Roar! The giant let out an agonized roar. Thud, thud! His 4 thick arms hammered the ground, the impossibly hard blood crystal shattered into countless cracks. His body began swelling again. 100 Zhang. 200 Zhang. In moments he stood over 300 Zhang tall, the 5, colored divine flame on his body, eroded relentlessly by that boundless divine power, was completely extinguished. Not good. Struggling with all his might against the crimson mist, Kael couldn't speak, but worry gnawed at him. Compared to before, the giant was now astronomically stronger. Lord Rooster, can he handle it? By my god's command. The giant slowly stood, staring coldly at Chongming. Your death is decreed. A trivial divine servant. Chongming turned, its tone icy. It seems I've been too lenient with you, in reverence.
Boom!
The giant abruptly knelt again, his face full of fervent piety and fanaticism, divine punishment.
Swoosh!
His forehead's vertical eye opened once more. A beam of deep crimson light, far more tyrannical than before, descended upon Chongming.
HMPH.
Chongming gave a cold snort. Without dodging or evading, it hurtled straight toward the red light, so swift that the 5-colored divine light around its body trailed a long 5-colored ribbon. Kael's pupils contracted. That 5-colored ribbon was unmistakably the shape of a longsword. Great majestic divine sword. Chongming's voice rang out.
PFFD.
The 5-colored light sword cleaved through the red light, pierced straight through the giant's forehead's vertical eye and out the other side, and then transformed back into Chongming.
My.
The giant spoke a single word before the light in his eyes swiftly faded.
Bang!
His corpse crashed to the ground. Kael was utterly dumbstruck. The move Chongming had just unleashed was a sword art of immense destructive power. Awe and yearning surged through him, but a deep confusion also rose. A chicken, how could it possess such profound mastery of the sword? Before he could ask, a furious emotion erupted across the space. It was that arm! As if sensing what had happened below, the arm began to struggle with unprecedented ferocity. The already dim divine chains of order grew fainter, as if about to snap entirely. And the crimson mist within the space went berserk in that very instant. In just a few breaths, Kael's protective spirit light was compressed to a mere 3 inches from his body. Oh no! His heart sank. If the divine chain snapped, even if the arm couldn't break free, it would still cause a catastrophic outcome. And he would be the very first to suffer. Lord Rooster, it's all up to you now. He lifted his head with great effort, looking toward the sky where the 5-colored divine light flowed and swirled around the majestic and domineering Chongming. This time, Chongming did not disappoint him. If I let you break free, where would my dignity be? It gave a soft shout. The 5-colored divine light on its body blazed forth. It took a single step forward, arriving instantly before the dimming divine chains of order. In its double pupils, the 5-colored brilliance churned ceaselessly, transforming into 2 dazzling streams of multicolored radiance that surged into the divine chain. Great, majestic Godslayer. In that split second, a layer of 5-colored radiance appeared upon the divine chain, stabilizing it instantly. The arm's struggles grew weaker and weaker, until at last it went completely still. The countless runes in the sky let out a soft tremor. The 5 divine chains of order, together with that arm, faded into the void and vanished from sight.
Hard.
Kael let out a long breath of relief. As the arm was sealed once more, the crimson mist lost its support and settled back down, once again transforming into bright red blood crystals. Just now, he had been a hair's breadth away from having divine power invade his body again. In midair, a trace of exhaustion flickered through Chongming's eyes, as if the act had taken a considerable toll on it. It glanced casually at Kael, but its attention was suddenly caught by the sword in his hand. That sword of yours. My sword. Kael was taken aback. What about it? Chongming did not answer. A hint of bewilderment passed through its eyes, then its double pupils vanished, returning to normal. So ugly? It stared at Kael. Lord Rooster has never seen a sword this ugly. The corner of Kael's mouth twitched. In an instant he knew. The familiar Lord Rooster was back. However, Chongming took another look. Ugly as it is, it's still a fine sword, and that sword move you used earlier. It pondered for a moment. Murderous intent as the guide, cultivation as the aid, discarding all flashy and useless techniques to pursue only the ultimate killing power. Though it looks unremarkable, it is a supreme method that leads straight to the pinnacle of sword arts. Tusk, remarkable, truly remarkable. Kael's heart skipped a beat. What Chongming described was almost exactly what was recorded in the prime arrival sword canon. From a single glance, it could discern the secrets of the sword of slaying. Lord Rooster. His mind churned with the memory of the sword Chongming had just used. It seems you understand the sword quite well, he asked.
Hi.
Chongming was uncharacteristically modest. Just a smattering, that's all. Kael blinked. A smattering or an ocean. Compared to Sha Yun, Chongming sighed with feeling. My sword cultivation isn't even fit to carry his shoes. Who exactly is he? Him? A touch of melancholy crept into Chongming's tone. That so-called god was cut down by him years ago when he was gravely wounded and on the brink of death. This god, slaying formation, is also something he devised. Lord Rooster here merely takes credit for another's work. Slay a god on the brink of death, a god slaying formation. Kael's mind reeled from the shock. Rumor has it that 1,000 years ago there was a great battle beyond the heavens, Chongming said. That was Sha Yun. Kael fell silent. Now he finally understood why Chongming was so familiar with this god, slaying formation. It had come from its own master's hands. I watched him grow up, Chongming reminisced, deeply moved. Within 5 years of stepping onto the path of cultivation, he became a transcendent. In 10 years, he reached sainthood, leaving all his peers so far behind they couldn't even see his shadow. The rooster puffed out his chest. He was also the most stunning sword prodigy Lord Rooster has ever seen. After less than 100 years of cultivation, he forged a sword path entirely his own. Wherever he went, no one dared claim to be a genius. It was too humiliating. Transcendent in 5 years, sainthood in 10. Kael could only smile bitterly. That kind of cultivation speed no longer deserved the word monstrous. As for forging an entirely unique sword path, that was still beyond his comprehension. Don't lose heart. Chongming offered a rare word of comfort. You're actually quite impressive yourself. It's just that compared to him, you're still a bit behind by a tiny margin. A tiny margin. Yes, a margin as wide as the heavens. Kael blinked, wisely deciding not to ask whether it was truly a tiny margin or a cosmic chasm. Lord Rooster. He thought for a moment, then asked again, was that senior's grievous wound related to Chu Kuang? Chu Kuang, Chongming looked puzzled. Who's that? The unlucky fellow from earlier. Him, Chongming's tone dripped with contempt. Was he even worthy? All that happened was that, a few 100 years ago, that wretch stumbled upon our place of dwelling and got greedy. So Sha Yun casually cut off his foundation of the way, that's all? Kael suddenly began to feel sympathy for Chu Kuang, even grievously wounded, that senior was still a being capable of slaying gods. To provoke someone like that truly, he was the unluckiest of the unlucky. Damn it, Chongming glanced toward the sky and exploded into a furious curse. If it weren't for those accursed things, how could Sha Yun have Lord Rooster swears, I will never let them off? Kael's heart stirred. Could it be that the senior's grievous wound was indeed connected to these so-called gods? But Chongming seemed unwilling to say more, so he did not press further. Seeing Chongming lost in hatred, he stealthily prodded the layer of blood crystal on the ground with his sword. Clang, clang. Too hard, it wouldn't budge. Regret flooded his face. If only he could take this stuff out with him. Brat, he looked up just in time to see Chongming tilting its head at him. What are you up to? Nothing. Kael felt a bit embarrassed. It's just a shame. The secret realm is gone, and the divine quintessence, I'm afraid there'll never be another chance to get it. Bah, Chongming flew into a rage. If not for those people messing around, would this secret realm have been destroyed? Exactly. Kael nodded vigorously. On this trip, I nearly lost my life several times, and I didn't get a single drop of that divine quintessence. What a loss. Chongming said nothing, seeming somewhat hesitant. Forget it. Abruptly, it shook its head. Lord Rooster here is already so old. I won't fight a brat like you for a fortuitous opportunity. If Sha Yun ever heard about it, I'd die of humiliation. It opened its beak and spat out a white jade bottle. Take it with your current cultivation level. It's exactly what you need. This, Kael looked troubled. What? Chongming flared up in anger. You looked down on Lord Rooster. Not at all. Kael's expression grew a little unnatural. He picked up the jade bottle, and after just one glance, he clutched it tight. Divine quintessence, Lord Rooster, where did you get this? The divine quintessence inside the jade bottle, no more, no less, matched exactly the amount that had remained in the small pond. He strongly suspected Chongming was the one who had plucked the fruit. What damned question is that? The demoness had slipped right out of its grasp. Chongming felt utterly humiliated and was naturally in no mood to elaborate. Let's get out first. There's proper business to attend to. Proper business? Kael was taken aback. Isn't everything already taken care of? HMPH, Chongming sneered. The god. Slaying formation is settled, yes, but the chief culprit behind all this still hasn't been found. They've exhausted Lord Rooster to this state. Lord Rooster absolutely won't let them off the hook. Lord Rooster, Kael thought for a moment, that chief culprit is already dead. He was certain the anomaly in the god slaying formation had most definitely been caused by Nero's junks. Dead? That's right. Kael considered his words and gave an explanation. Of course, concerning the matter of body snatching, he naturally fobbed it off with an excuse. HMPH, Chongming's anger still festered. Dead just like that. That was far too easy on them. Lord Rooster, something seemed to occur to Kael, and his eyes lit up. I think they had an accomplice.
Who? Young Jaya.
Let's go. The pent-up fury in Chongming's heart immediately reignited. Go out and find her. Suddenly it caught on and cast a sidelong glance at Kael. Brat, are you brewing another wicked scheme, trying to use Lord Rooster again? Not at all. Kael stated with absolute conviction. It's definitely them. His confidence was immense. Who cares if it was actually true or not? In any case, the problem with the Yong family's secret realm, even Vale could see it. No matter what, this chamber pot of blame didn't even need him to fling it. Young Jaya was already wearing it tight and snug. No one could snatch it away if they tried. Outside, the secret realm collapsed. Bolts of unimaginably violent energy continuously surged outward, directly reducing the surrounding terrain to a completely unrecognizable state. Such a tremendous commotion naturally alerted the people from every clan, all except Feng, Wu Iwen. The remaining several families had all emerged from seclusion and rushed to the scene. Right now, everyone stared at the crumbling secret realm with grave expressions. Why, Wuda's brows were tightly furrowed. For more than 1,000 years, this secret realm has never had a single problem. How could it end up like this? Precisely, Duan Ren said, his face overcast. Everything was clearly fine just earlier on. Lai Shun sighed. If you two don't even know, then we are even more in the dark. For a cultivator in the half-step transcendence realm, without special fortune, their lifespan barely exceeds 1,000 years. Among those present, only Wu De and Duan Ren were the oldest and the only two who had personally lived through that great catastrophe all those years ago. Meng Xing fixed a death stare on the pair. On this matter, you must give us an explanation. Why is it that the moment it's your turn to stand watch, this secret realm has problems? If anything at all goes wrong with Meng Xing inside, this won't be the end of it between us. Agreed. Yongtong's face was dark. Those inside the secret realm are the elite future of all our clans. This is a responsibility you can't shoulder. What? Wu De countered tit for tat. Thinking of making a move was last time's lesson not enough for you. He and Duan Ren naturally didn't care about the lives and deaths of the various family juniors. They were at death's doorstep themselves. How could they still have the heart to worry about so much else? Ancestor, behind the crowd, Murong Hai looked utterly frantic. He definitely went in there. I don't know if he'll be able to bring Yanner and the others out. Rest easy. Lu Fang sighed beside him. With the Supreme Elder there, no problems will arise.
Swish, swish.
Before the words were even finished, space rippled. In front of everybody, several human silhouettes suddenly appeared. It was precisely Yana Murong, Chu Kuang, and the rest. Yanner Murong Hai was overjoyed. You're finally out mid-sentence, his heart sank. How is it only this few people? Where are the rest? Gone. Murong Chong gave a bitter smile. Clan head, we are all that remain.
What?
Everyone's hearts plummeted. They had sent dozens in, and now only a dozen or so were left. Linner, all of a sudden, a furious roar reached everyone's ears. Yang Shang was the very first to spot Yang Lin, cradled in Nero's Shanks's grasp. His eyes instantly flared blood-red. Everyone took a glance. Yang Lin's condition, the word miserable, didn't even begin to do it justice. Speak. Yang Tong fixed his gaze on Nero's Shanks, killing intent flickering in his eyes. Who did this? Senior, Meng Xing said coolly. The one who cut off Yang Brother's limbs was none other than Kael. As for these people, he sneered. They're all in cahoots with him, and none of them can escape blame.
Wretched spawn.
At these words, Yang Shang immediately fixed his gaze on Ivan, boiling with fury. Your eldest brother Jiang was maimed like this, and you didn't lift a finger to help. Don't think that just because you're at Azure Cloud Pavilion...
Clan leader Yong Jaya.
Iwan Gang's gaze cut sideways to Ivan. Ivan broke the rules. I've already expelled him from Azure Cloud Pavilion. He has nothing more to do with us.
He wasn't finished.
Chu Kuang's smile was light, almost pleasant. Senior brother Yong was rather close to that Kael, you know, even risked his life for him.
What?
Yang Shang's stare pinned Ivan where he stood, teeth grinding audibly. Is what he said true?
Silence. Yes,
Ivan's voice came quiet and steady. Kael is my friend.
Heh.
Lai Shun's laugh was winter, cold, for the Yong Jaya clan to raise a clansman like this, truly an eye-opener. After the battle at the ancient relic mansion, Yong Lin's ties to the Yong Jaya clan had frozen solid and shattered. Yet he remained head disciple of Chi Sha Yuan, and seeing him dragged so low was a direct cut to Lai Shun's own face. He had no intention of letting the wound close quietly. Brother Yong, Meng Ch1's frown was a thin, sharp thing. This Ivan has a bone in him that's rotten to the core. Keeping him is begging for calamity. The meaning needed no translation. HMPH? Ridicule and scorn pressed in from every side. Yong Tong's face had gone the color of dead ash. Yong Shang, what a fine son you've raised.
Wretched spawn!
Yong Shang's restraint snapped. Kael is the mortal enemy of my Yongjaya clan, and you dare, I'll destroy you myself. His hand rose to strike Yong Lin dead where he lay.
Swish!
A figure cut through the chaos, disheveled and abrupt Murong Yuan.
Boom, 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 boom.
The moment he appeared, a far more violent force erupted behind him, raw and screaming. The ground convulsed.
Pull back.
Get further back. Terror ripped through the crowd. No one had breath left for anything but scrambling away. A moment later, the earth fell still, dust drifted and thinned. Where the secret realm had stood, only a bottomless abyss remained, a colossal, gaping wound in the ground. From its edges, over a dozen crevices spider-webbed outward, each several yards wide, stretching into the distance. A tremor still ran through every heart. Such force had anyone been caught at its center, even a half-step transcendence cultivator would have had no prayer of escape. Ancestor! Yana Murong froze the instant she saw Murong Yuan emerge alone. Where is Brother Gu?
Murong Yuan's sigh was heavy. I couldn't find him.
Beneath that line of darkness, he had found nothing of Kael, not even a trace of Chongming's shadow.
What?
The color bled from Yana Murong's face. She stood locked in place. Nearby, Ivan's and Nero's Shanks's hearts plunged like stones into deep water. Not found. The words meant only one thing, and it was plain to everyone. In the distance, Chu Kuang's expression stayed smooth, only a faint flicker of regret passing through his eyes.
Kael's end didn't surprise him.
But deep in his bones, he understood. Even if the secret realm collapsed, Chongming would likely shrug it off. He would have a long, long time yet to nurse this grudge before he could settle it.
Huh?
Meng Xing's voice crackled with excitement. Kael, he died inside the secret realm after all, heaven's will.
All of it, Yuan Gang said with a slow shake of his head, is nothing but the harvest of his own deeds.
Dead?
Yong Shang's face twisted into savage glee, a good death.
The thorn in his eye, the spike in his flesh, dead at last, no corpse to bury, not even dregs left behind. Taoist Murong, Wu De and Duan Ren cared nothing for Kael's life or death. What exactly happened inside the secret realm?
Indeed, how could such a calamity strike without reason?
The precise cause, Murong Yuan said, shaking his head. I'm not entirely clear on myself. I only know that.
Wait.
Yong Tong cut in, voice sharp as a blade. If you can't explain it clearly, then let it rest for now. Can we take the person away or not? Yong Lin's condition was too dire. The longer this dragged on, the more the Yongjaya clan's face rotted away before every eye.
Exactly.
Yong Shang's expression was murder. Hand Linner over, and you, too. His stare locked onto Ivan, killing intent surging bright and hot in his eyes. Wretched spawn, today I clean house. I'll carve out this curse with my own hands.
At those words, Ivan's fists clenched. A faint tremor ran through his body, whether from Yong Shang's words, from Kael's death, or both. No one could tell. What's going on?
Murong Yuan's frown deepened. He had already seen Yong Lin's state. He simply hadn't asked yet.
Hand him over.
Yana Murong's head snapped up. Her eyes were rimmed red. Impossible. He's a captive brother Gu took. We will never hand him to you.
What did you say?
Yong Tong's face went glacial. Are you courting death? Taoist Murong, Meng Qing's alignment with Yong Tong was effortless. Contending and seizing inside the secret realm is common. All of us have walked that path.
You've already gone too far by wounding him this badly. Now we've left the secret realm, and you still refuse to release him. What exactly is the meaning of this?
Supreme Elder.
Nero's Shanks drew a deep breath. The Yang and Meng families launched lethal attacks the moment we entered the secret realm, and beyond that.
Lethal attacks?
Meng Xing sneered. Our two families lost far more people than yours. If anything, your methods were far too vicious.
That's right.
Yuan Gang nodded. I can testify to that. To press this even after leaving the secret realm isn't that a touch too narrow-minded. Forget it. Chu Kuang shook his head. Senior Sister Murong isn't someone who listens to advice.
Bullshit.
Yana Murong's fury erupted. I'll hammer the three of you slanderers into the ground right here.
Heh.
Lai Shun's cold laugh cut through again. Killing and fighting are common inside the secret realm. Do you really mean to drag those grudges out into the open? Is this your first time entering a secret realm? You don't even know this basic rule. Fellow Taoist Murong, you've done a truly poor job instructing your junior.
What about her? Murong Iwan's expression stayed blank. I know my own affairs, worry about yours.
Release him. Yongtong's patience had burned out. Otherwise, don't blame me for being discourteous. You two, Mengqing shifted his gaze to Wu De and Duan Ren. If he refuses to let him go, don't fault me for disregarding the greater picture.
Exactly.
Lai Shun stepped forward as well. No matter what else, he is my Chish, our Iwan head disciple. As Hall Master, I cannot simply stand by and do nothing.
The three clans pressed in together.
Fellow Taoist Murong, release him.
Indeed, the matters of the secret realm take priority. Don't create further complications.
The two men spoke, urging him. Their lifespans were nearly spent. They had no wish to sever ties with the three clans over a minor affair. Especially with the three clans united, the Jade Pinnacle sect stood at a clear disadvantage. Seeing both men inclined to wash their hands clean, Murong Iwan went silent.
Old ancestor.
Yana Murong's urgency spiked. We can't hand him over. Brother Gu said he needs Yonglin for something vital. Even though he's already, we owe him too much.
Whatever he left unfinished, we must finish for him.
Old ancestor, Murong Hai said, his expression grave. Whatever you decide, we follow.
Enough. Murong Iwan's sigh came sudden and deep. The Murong family cannot sink to repaying kindness with ingratitude. Today we help that young man fulfill one of his wishes.
Fellow Taoist Murong, Wu De's face darkened, matched by the other. Are you truly set on this path? Must your personal affairs drag the entire Jade Pinnacle sect down? Rest easy. Murong Iwan's glance was slant and cold. This has nothing to do with the Jade Pinnacle sect. The Murong family will bear this alone.
In that case, a cold gleam flickered in Mengqing's eyes. I will stand with fellow Taoist Yong.
Fellow Taoist Murong, Lai Shun fixed his gaze on Murong Iwan. Release him, and I am willing to overlook the harm done to Yonglin. I will not join them against you. Speak. Murong Iwan paid him no heed whatsoever. What does that boy intend to do with Yonglin? Junior brother Yong, Nero's shanks let out a long breath. This matter was between you and him. You should be the one to speak of it.
Gem.
Everyone jolted. None had imagined Kael's intentions would tie directly to Ivan. You wretched spawn, Yongshang's killing intent flared again. You had a hand in this too.
Ivan kept silent.
Forget it. After a long, heavy pause, his voice came slow, steeped in despair and exhaustion. Let him go. What? Yana Murong's fury ignited. Yong, have you no spine at all? Brother Gu gave his life to be bought you this chance, and you can't even hold it. With my Murong family standing here, what are you afraid of? That's exactly right. Another silence. I cannot drag you down too. He knew the truth. Even if he used Yonglin to barter for his mother, the Yongjaya clan, having lost so much face, would never let the matter rest. Because of Kael, the Murong family would shield him, and when that moment came, it would ignite a bloody war. Junior brother Yong, Nero Shanks' expression was layered and complex. Have you truly decided? Yonglin's sole value was the exchange for Ivan's mother. If Ivan refused that exchange, holding Yonglin meant nothing anymore. This collision of forces would likely end right here. He spoke the words as if they drained every last shred of strength from his body, and stay out of my affairs. What I owe him, I can never repay. I don't want to owe any of you as well. Ivan, Murong Iwan's voice cut in sharp. I, Murong Iwan, keep my word. If you take those words back now, it's not too late.
No, Ivan shook his head. Let it be.
And with that, he stepped forward and walked out. You wretched spawn, Yongshang's killing intent erupted. A wretched spawn indeed. What were you trying to threaten me with, using eldest brother Jiang to save your own life? Or your mother's? I should have cut you all down back then. Father, Ivan cut him off, his voice flat and unnervingly steady. There's something I've always wanted to ask you. In your eyes, what exactly am I? Yongshang froze for an instant. Ivan had never spoken to him like this before. In my eyes? He glared, and behind that gaze lay nothing but murderous ice, no trace of fatherly warmth. You have always been a worthless waste. I see. Ivan's face went pale for a moment. Slowly, he drew out a long spear over 10 feet in length. Insolence, Yongtong's face turned frosty. You dare raise a weapon against your own father.
Unfilial wretch.
A rebellious nature, just as expected. A beast that defies human ethics should have been put to death long ago. Mengqing and the others piled on, their voices sharp with scorn. Yang! Yana Murong gripped her great hammer tight. her eyes reddening. He's just asking to die.
He and Nero's shanks couldn't stand to watch. He's been pushed past the edge. There's no path left for him now.
Off to the side, Murong Iwan slowly closed his eyes. He'd already made up his mind.
Father even stared at the great spear in his hands, his expression distant.
When I was 6 years old, you carelessly tossed me a mid-grade profound rank technique, the soul hunting spear. I've practiced it relentlessly ever since. He flourished the spear, then reversed his grip, presenting the butt end toward Yongshang. Father, please instruct me.
You wretched spawn, Yongshang's face was ice. I gave you your life. Today, I'll take it back.
Boom!
His aura exploded outward.
In the distance, Murong Iwan's own power stirred for an instant. What? Yongtong's expression twisted. You still want to HM?
Before he could finish, he snapped his gaze skyward.
There, a streak of 5. Colored divine light blazed across the heavens, trailing a shimmering afterimage as it shot toward them at terrifying speed. What is that?
Every eye locked on the light.
Boom! Rumble!
An instant later, divine light struck. A violent blast shook the ground 3 times.
Through the dust, Kael's voice rang out, laced with complaint. Lord Rooster, can you try to be a little more reliable? Who told you to give bad directions? I don't know the way. Heh, does Lord Rooster know it either? The bickering continued as the dust settled, revealing a man and a chicken. Kael climbed out of the pit and scanned the crowd. A grin spread across his face. He'd known the secret realm's collapse would draw everyone here, so naturally he'd egged Chongming into rushing over. His guess had been spot on. Every single one of them was here. Brother Gu.
Yana Murong jolted out of her stupor, joy flooding her face. You're not dead.
Who said I was dead?
Ancestor, this. Murong Iwan looked deeply embarrassed. If he himself had fled a moment slower, he'd never have survived that place, let alone Kael. He'd never imagined Kael could live, much less end up with Chongming. Kael's brows suddenly drew together as his gaze landed on Ivan. Brother Yong, what's wrong?
He could sense the despair bleeding off him.
It's nothing. Ivan looked at him, a hint of relief in his eyes. You survived. Good. That's good.
Brother Gu, Yana Murong cried out. This young fellow's stubborn as a mule. He wants to let young Lin go. Kael fell silent for a moment. Knowing Ivan's character, this wasn't a surprise. Relax, he sighed. I promised you something, and I'll see it through. As for young Lin, he's my prisoner, whether he's released or not. His gaze swept the crowd, cold and hard. That's for me to decide. Kael, Mengxing glared, teeth grinding. Seems your life's a tough one. Wait your turn. Kael glanced at the few of them. I'll settle this debt with you slowly. Chu Kuang's expression darkened. A premonition coiled in his gut. So, you're Kael. A cold gaze fell upon him, a voice thick with killing intent, Yongshang's. Kael's eyes swept over, his brow furrowing. You're Yong Lin's father. Though it was their first meeting, they recognized each other instantly. Yongshang had a portrait. Kael had instinct. Good, good, good. Yongshang laughed in a fury. Both my sons have suffered because of you, and this wretch still calls you his friend. Today, even if Zuo Yang himself shows up, no one will save you, no one can protect you. TCH, a leisurely voice drifted over. Who's that, all full of hot air? Chongming strutted out of the pit, chest puffed, and planted himself before Yongshang. Know what Lord Rooster hates most. People with no skills who act all high and mighty. Silence fell. Even Yongshang was taken aback. Had the world turned so upside down that a mere chicken could be this domineering? Just because it could speak human tongues. This kind of spirit beast, Lai Shun finally ventured, hesitating, I've never seen before. It speaks human words without taking human form, and does a chicken even count as a spirit beast? Murong Iwan sucked in a sharp breath. Kael, meanwhile, watched with open glee. There it was. Mess with Lord Rooster, and nobody could save you. Sure enough. Swish. Lai Shun was still pondering when a tiny figure blurred into being right before him. He stared at Chongming, stunned all over again. How had this chicken moved so fast? Neil, flames practically leaped from Chongming's eyes. Call me Lord Rooster. What? I said Neil. Chongming leaped, swung a wing, and brought it crashing down on Lai Shun's head. Call me Lord Rooster. Lai Shun's face went white. He tried to summon his cultivation to resist, but a monstrous force instantly scattered it. Bang! A devastating impact. He spat a mouthful of blood, half his body already driven into the ground by Chongming's blow. Call me Lord Rooster. Bang! Say it. Bang! Are you going to say it or not? Bang! The onlookers stood frozen in shock.
Lai Shun now had only his head left above ground, his eyes filled with terror, his aura shattered and feeble clearly, badly wounded.
Off in the distance, Meng Xing suddenly felt his own face start throbbing again.
Lord Rooster, seeing Chongming's wing about to strike again, Lai Shun panicked. Stop hitting.
I'll say it, one more blow, and he might become the first half-step Transcendence Realm cultivator in the northern territory of the Eastern Wastes to be beaten to death by a chicken.
Apologize.
I'm sorry. Stay put and don't come out.
Yes. Lai Shun hastily agreed. Right now, dignity, expert bearing, academy head reputation. All of it meant nothing. Staying alive was what mattered.
HMPH, Chongming snorted and returned to stand before Yongshang. Go on, act cocky again. Let Lord Rooster see it.
Cold sweat drenched Yongshang instantly. No, I wouldn't dare. He trembled and backed down. Who was he kidding?
Lai Shun was a half-step transcendence expert, on par with his own clan's ancestor, and even he'd been thrashed by this chicken. His own meager skills were nothing.
HMPH, Chongming glanced at him. At least you know what's good for you.
Lord Rooster, Kael shook his head. This man submits only in word, not in heart. On the surface he yields, but deep down he's cursed you 1,000 times already.
Yongshang's face went white. Slander. Brat, Chongming shot him an annoyed look. How do you know?
He's from the Yang clan. Kael spoke with absolute certainty. The Yang clan doesn't have a single good soul, except, of course, he pointed at Ivan, my brother Yang here. Surname Yang, Chongming's eyes sharpened. You mean that Yang clan?
Exactly. Wonderful.
Boom! A terrifying pressure erupted from Chongming, so overwhelming it nearly forced Yongshang to his knees.
It's you bastards.
Secretly opening the formation core and stealing divine power. How dare you? Before coming here, he'd visited the Yang family's secret realm to verify Kael's claims, and sure enough, he'd uncovered their theft.
It differed slightly from Kael's account of their complicity, but the stolen divine power was undeniable.
This Lord Rooster. Yongshang went pale as death and tried to plead.
Let me explain.
Bang! Chongming wasn't about to hear any explanations. With a mighty sweep of his wing, a dense spiritual pressure crashed down, blasting Yongshang far back. Even in midair, he was vomiting blood, his aura wilting instantly.
Lai Shun suddenly felt very lucky. The injuries Yongshang suffered had already struck at his foundation. Yongshang alone was nowhere near enough to quell Chongming's fury. His gaze shifted, locking onto Yongtong.
Are you also from the Yang family? He thought the two bore a resemblance.
If my guess is right, Kael said, glancing at Ivan, he should be your ancestor.
Yes, Ivan nodded subconsciously. Lord Rooster, Kael said with solemn weight, this is the one who stole the divine power.
It's you? Chongming erupted in fury. With a light hop of his two golden talons, he was right in front of Yongtong.
You've got the goal of a dog.
No. Cold sweat poured off Yongtong. I absorbed divine power, that's true, but I didn't damage the formation core.
Bang!
Chongming wasn't listening to any justification. He suddenly clapped his wings together. Great prestige.
Damn it, I forgot again. A furious squawk cut through the air. Before anyone could ask what had been forgotten, Chongming the Self, styled Lord Rooster, flapped his wings and descended on Yongtong like divine retribution.
Forget it, Lord Rooster will beat the lesson into your skull. Even if some memory eluded him, Chongming's cultivation sat at the peak of the Transcendence Realm. Dealing with a mere insect like Yongtong was no different from crushing an ant.
You reckless moron.
Whack, asterisk.
The god, slaying formation. Is that a toy for you to mess with?
Crack, asterisk.
Do you have the slightest clue how much sweat Lord Rooster poured into cleaning up your disaster?
Thud, asterisk. Feathers and fury blurred together. In between blows, Chongming's curses rained just as hard. Within a few breaths, Yongtong lay half dead, his breath a wet rasp, clinging to life by a thread.
Off to the side, Wu De and Duan Ren stood frozen, jaws slack. What in the name of the heavens were they watching? First Lai Shun, and now Yongtong.
Pummeled without mercy by a chicken.
And neither could lift a finger to resist.
Was this honestly just a chicken?
Stop, Yongtong finally croaked. Cough, asterisk. Stop, please. Kael's frown deepened instantly. Lord Rooster, this wretch is telling you not to stop, what audacity. He's clearly unrepentant. If you let him off, he'll stir up even worse trouble the moment your back is turned. A collective hiss ran through the onlookers. They all inhaled sharply.
The man could twist words like a snake coiling around a branch.
Truly, their horizons had broadened today. You, blood gushed from Yongtong's mouth, his glare fixed on Kael, veins bulging. You dare deceive me? Still defiant? A lethal glint flickered through Kael's eyes. Absolutely shameless. He spread his hands in a gesture of wounded sincerity. Lord Rooster and I exhausted ourselves. We bled, we nearly died, all to repair the gods, laying formation. And yet this dog dares to act ungrateful and spew arrogance right to your face. Lord Rooster, if you spare a man like this, I fear it won't be long before you're forced to return and fix the formation all over again. Yongtong choked. Blood sprayed from his lips with each cough. Arrogance, spewing nonsense. He'd barely managed to get a few words out. Who the hell slanders people like this? That's right. Chongming puffed up, anger reignited. Lord Rooster's seen plenty of scum like him, greedy, insatiable, never knowing when, *A*. The bird's head swiveled toward Kael, eyes narrowing. Brat. Lord Rooster fixed the god, slaying formation. What in the nine hells did you contribute? Lord Rooster, Kael replied, shaking his head with absolute gravity. You are the executor. I am the witness. Between the two of us, neither is dispensable. Chongming's brain seemed to stall. What are you blathering about? Kael let out a soft sigh, a trace of melancholy touching his voice. Lord Rooster, by repairing the god, slaying formation, you saved countless lives. All the living beings across this northern territory of the eastern wastes, they should know, must know, whose hands pulled them back from the brink. And that task, that requires me, the witness, to fulfill. Chongming's chest puffed up even more. The praise made his head spin pleasantly. Fame and fortune mean nothing to Lord Rooster, but, a witness is indeed essential. From a distance, Yana Murong blinked owlishly. I never saw this side of him before. Brother Gu actually has a talent for that. Murong Iwen shot her a sidelong glance. So naive. For a man that shameless and cunning, what couldn't he pull off? Lord Rooster. Kael jabbed a finger at Yongtong. Then this man. A cold laugh escaped Chongming's beak. Naturally, he must be severely punished. No, Yongtong cried out.